what we want to do is we want to take our creme brulee mixture and we want to pour it through one of these strainers, also known as a chinois. It's essentially a fine mesh strainer. If you have to, just pull the screen off your window and use it. But that's going to pull all of the orange zest and a lot of the vanilla bean chunks out of here. There'll still be some really fine little specks, which makes for a great looking creme brulee, by the way. But it'll pull out all the stuff that your mouth is really going to feel. So we'll take that and pour that into a Pyrex dish. And then we'll take our creme brulee as it comes out. And I've got some 7-ounce cups over here. Shake that because it has a tendency to get caught. The orange zest has a tendency to sit on the bottom, and that makes it so that it doesn't come through. But we'll strain that. There we go. Right into a Pyrex dish, and then we'll pour no more than about 2/3 of the way up in each dish. This usually makes 4, but I sometimes will keep a 5th one in here in case I have a little extra. I don't. It makes 4 right on the money. Because we want the longest landing strip possible, we're going to do a water bath. The water bath, what we do is I've got some water that I've had boiling here on the stove, and pour that in so it's about half the way up the sides of your creme brulee. The reason you want to do this is as water hits its boiling point at anywhere from 202 to 212 degrees, depending on your elevation, for 99% of people in the United States. But as water hits its boiling point, it gives off this steam which takes energy away from the water, which keeps the water bath at a nice, cool 212 degrees. The carrying capacity of water is much more significant than just regular air. Otherwise, you could just put your creme brulee in a 212 degree oven and then tomorrow come back and it might be done. But water at 212 degrees carries a lot more heat into our creme brulee, but it also makes it much more even heat, so that we again just expand that margin of error, so that as we're baking this, the difference between undone and curdled is a lot more easy to negotiate. We're going to take this, we're going to put it in the oven at 325 degrees for, well, until it's done. Until it's done? How am I supposed to know when it's done? It's actually pretty easy. In fact, there are 2 really easy ways to know if it's done. The first and foremost, and frankly the easiest way, is the visual test. Grab some tongs, open your oven, and just give it a little shake. And if it's really liquid and fluid, it's not done. The other option is get one of these handy dandy things, just a regular old meat thermometer, I don't know, $5 to your local store. There's a little probe that's not quite on the tip, it's usually inside a little ways, that has 2 different types of metal. And as the metal gets heated, they expand at different temperatures. So one metal will expand, causing the other one to get pushed back, which causes this little dial to spin. We want to get that metal so it spins enough so that this little thing hits about 180 degrees. And as you can see, it's got a perfect texture. It's thickened up just enough. We're going to go ahead and pull these out of the oven and take them out of the water, put them on a cooling rack. We'll let these sit for about an hour off of the cooling rack. The reason being is we don't want any condensation when we put these in the fridge. So we're going to put these into the fridge next, and we'll let these sit for about 4 hours in the fridge. That'll give the custard a chance to really thicken up and create just this nice velvety rich texture. We're going to come back in 4 hours and we'll show you the fun part. Grab your blowtorch. We've given our custard, the creme portion of creme brulee, 4 hours in the fridge, and it's set up nice and firm. In fact, I wouldn't recommend doing that at home, by the way. Here's what another little trick I like to do to really bring out the flavor of this. Traditionally, you'll use white sugar, about a teaspoon of white sugar. I like to use sugar in the raw turbinado sugar. It's not really raw sugar. In fact, it's just regular white sugar with a little bit of a bigger crystal that they've added a little bit of molasses to. Not so much to make it brown sugar, but just enough to give it a little extra flavor. You put that in, about a teaspoon, tamp it around. Comes the fun part. You could use a regular old butane powered creme brulee torch, but come on, what's the fun in that, huh? This is my big boy. Propane power, baby. Well, it's really simple. You start with your torch right in the middle of the dish and keep it moving in a circular motion. What you're trying to do is just to melt the sugar evenly and smoothly, and by going in a circular motion, it allows that heat to warm the sugar up a little bit slower, so it goes all the way through, and we'll thereby getting this really nice crust. I love the way this thing smells when you do this. The sugar starts to bubble, it starts to brown. In fact, this is a true caramelization reaction. You may have heard me talk before about browning reactions and calling Maillard reactions, and calling caramelization. This is true caramelization. You'll get that nice, bubbly, browned sugar on top of your creme brulee, and that's when you know it's perfect. You can put this in the fridge for up to 30 minutes, any more than that, and some of the moisture in the custard will actually cause that nice sugar crust to get kind of soft and soggy. 30 minutes is about the max you can go. However, you can make the custard up to a day in advance. So if you've got friends coming over, perfect. Make the custard the day before, and then bring the blowtorch out and really impress them after dinner. I'm Tom, this is Cook with Tom. If you have any questions, go to my website, www.cookwithtom.com. We'll see you next time.